Hey everybody, Cinema Sickness here again to talk to you about what I bought and what I watched today. And today, headed out to one of my local Goodwills and also one of my local Kmarts where I got myself some great titles, so let's take a look at everything I got. At Goodwill, I picked up 4 VHS tapes, all for 25 cents a piece, and the first one was Shag the Movie. Now, I did actually once own this very exact same release. However, about a month or so ago, I ended up replacing this VHS tape with another VHS tape, which is actually the original release. The reason I did that was because I liked the artwork a lot better, really just kind of picked it up for collecting purposes. Even once I do replace that VHS with a DVD or something like that, I will still hold on to it because of the great artwork. It's more or less just the movie poster artwork. It looks fantastic, whereas this artwork just looks wretched. However, I did just learn something very interesting, and that is the original release of this, the original VHS release of Shag the Movie, does have the actual theatrical audio, whereas this audio has been changed. Apparently a bunch of songs have been taken out, a lot of songs have been changed, something due to some copyright problems. So I was not aware of that. So I do actually own the original release now with the actual original audio, which is great, but I do like owning multiple cuts of movies and multiple versions of movies, just kind of the nerdiness in me. I love owning that. So I definitely wanted to get myself a copy of the edited audio version, which I know, why would I want that, but I don't know. Just really wanted it for collecting purposes, so when I came across it today for only 25 cents, had to rebuy the VHS. The next VHS I picked up was the Care Bears movie, which I do already own on DVD, but I really wanted to grab this just for collecting purposes because I love this artwork. That is fantastic looking. Love great classic VHS artwork, so for 25 cents, had to pick it up. Then I grabbed Mask, Homeward Bound. A great animated series that I used to watch all the time when I was a kid. Used to have the cars that transformed and did all kinds of fun things. Just a great series. Haven't actually seen a single episode since I was a kid, so I had to pick this up. Can't wait to check it out. And I do know that this great series has just recently been released to DVD, so yes, eventually I would like to pick up that the DVD release, but for now, for 25 cents, had to get it on VHS. And the last VHS I grabbed was Whitewater Summer. What sold me on this one was simply Kevin Bacon. Love Kevin Bacon movies. This does get really good reviews online, so for 25 cents, had to pick it up. Then I headed over to Kmart where I got myself 2 DVDs, both for $5 a piece, and the first one I picked up was Michael Jackson, The Life of an Icon. Now, as I mentioned before, when it comes to Michael Jackson as an artist, love him. Think he's a great musician, an okay actor, just a great all-around artist. As an actual human being, well, that's a whole other story. Not such a big fan of him there, but a fantastic artist. Really do enjoy his music. Love watching the movies he starred in. Just a great, great artist. So I do enjoy Michael Jackson. So I definitely wanted to pick this up. It seems really interesting. Actually released by Universal, which is pretty much what sold me on this. There are some other Michael Jackson documentaries floating around since his death, and a lot of them have been put out by just no-name companies. So when I saw one actually put out by Universal, I figured I'd pick it up and check it out. I'm sure it'll be great. And the last DVD I picked up from Kmart was The Big Hit. Now, a few weeks ago, I did pick this one up on UMD. It was a blind buy when I picked it up, and it still is a blind buy. Haven't got around to watching this. But since I have it on UMD, definitely want to get myself either a DVD or a Blu-ray copy, so picked it up on DVD. Definitely looking forward to watching this one. Even though it does get very mixed reviews, I have read some pretty negative reviews on this movie, but I have read good ones as well. So I can't wait to check it out, and for $5, figured it was a good deal. So that's it for what I bought today, so now on to what I watched. And actually, a few of you guys recently have been asking me to watch one specific title, and I figured tonight would finally be the night I checked this classic out, and that was the Alfred Hitchcock classic, Vertigo. And it's about time I finally watched this movie. Up until tonight, I've only ever seen bits and pieces of this film on cable. This is my first time ever watching this movie in its entirety, and it was great. 100% classic Hitchcock. Has great cinematography, has great music, beautifully shot, exactly what you expect from a great Alfred Hitchcock movie, plus an amazing story. Now, I'm not going to ruin the ending for you. I know a lot of times I spoil movies. I have nothing wrong with spoiling movies at all. Do it all the time, as you guys know. But it's a classic. It's a great film. I really think I should just leave the twist ending for you guys to check out. I highly recommend seeing this movie. If you haven't seen it, I really don't want to spoil it for you. But I will tell you what the movie's about up to the spoiler. It's all about Jimmy Stewart. He is a police officer But he suffers from agoraphobia, which is the fear of heights, and from that he gets vertigo, so he gets all dizzy, and he can't really do his job too well when he's up too high. So he ends up letting a police officer die because of his vertigo and his agoraphobia. So he retires from the force because this police officer dies, feels bad, feels that it might happen again, doesn't want it to happen, so again, he retires. One of his friends comes back into town, his friend from college, and he actually asks Jimmy Stewart to trail his wife. And the whole reason for this being is because he says his wife is possessed by the spirit of her great-great-grandmother. Seems pretty crazy, but he goes, you know, whatever, I'm retired, but you're my friend, fine, I'll take the case, I'll trail her, see what's going on, see if she's possessed, see if anything weird's happening, you know, is she cheating on you, what's really going on here? And everything seems only up and up. She's going to the grave of her supposed great-great-grandmother, she's going to see a portrait of this lady, she's going to the house that her supposed great-great-grandmother used to live in, that's now a motel, she's like renting a room out of there. She's going through these spouts of not knowing what's going on. She ends up trying to kill herself by jumping into the river. I mean, it's all this, or I guess let's say the San Francisco Bay. It's all this crazy stuff that's going on, and everything seems on the up and up. Seems she might actually be somewhat possessed. Something weird's going on. However, Jimmy Stewart and her actually end up falling in love, which seems kind of weird because it's his best friends, or well, one of his good friends' wives, and you know, why are they falling in love? Well, they do, and they end up kissing a bit. Things seem to be going pretty well between those two, and she ends up committing suicide. And I'm pretty much going to leave it there. I'm not going to get too much into it. I will say that because of the suicide and the fact that Jimmy Stewart wasn't able to save her because she jumped off a bell tower and his agoraphobia was working up again, his vertigo was working up, once again he couldn't save somebody's life. He goes a little bit crazy and ends up going into a hospital because of his bit of insanity. He does get let out, and then things take a twist, and it gets very interesting, and it's about an hour and a half into the movie when this twist comes. So Alfred Hitchcock really sets this movie up for an hour and a half. An hour and a half of this movie is really just a setup for the payoff. So some people probably aren't going to enjoy that. I can see some people probably getting really bored by a film like this, but it's kind of classic Alfred Hitchcock. Even my wife was saying when she watched it, she knew immediately, because we were watching it together, she knew immediately that this was a classic Alfred Hitchcock story where it's sort of a story and then it ends and then it goes into a whole nother story. Even though they have something to do with each other, even though they're the same part of the same story, it almost feels like a whole nother film. And I love Hitchcock for that. He's just so great at just telling stories in such an interesting way and setting things up. And he takes his good a long time setting things up, but it really does pay off in the end. Jimmy Stewart, he's doing it. I love Jimmy Stewart. He's a great actor. I pretty much will pick up anything he's in. Brilliant artist. For the first hour and a half, he's playing a great character. He's pretty much his typical Jimmy Stewart self. He's what you'd expect him to be. But after the first hour and a half, and when the twist comes around, he gets amazing. He gets completely psychotic and just plays this great character that I've never seen Jimmy Stewart play before. He just goes nuts, and by far, one of the best performances I've ever seen Jimmy Stewart do in my life. It was just amazing. I loved his character after the first hour and a half. Don't get me wrong, again, he was amazing in the beginning of the movie. Great, he's a great actor. He did a great job, but once that hour and a half mark stops and the twist comes in, he just gets purely amazing. I absolutely loved him. So, again, it's a brilliant movie. Like I said, I'm not going to spoil the twist for you. There is a great, great twist ending. Really, really enjoyed this film. If you like Alfred Hitchcock movies, this is one I'm sure you've seen, but if you haven't, hell, I love Alfred Hitchcock movies. This is my first time seeing it, so if you haven't checked out Vertigo, it's a must-see, one of Hitchcock's classics, a brilliant film, and I would highly, highly recommend it. So that's it for what I bought and what I watched today. Definitely got some great titles from my local Goodwill, and also Kmart. Definitely looking forward to checking all those out. And finally, watching Vertigo, the Alfred Hitchcock classic that for whatever reason, I just put off for way too long. Finally getting around to watching that. It was great. I loved it. Definitely a classic. I see why all you guys are telling me I need to check it out. It is brilliant. I would highly recommend it. Jimmy Stewart is fantastic in it, especially for that last half hour. It has a great twist. I would highly recommend seeing the movie. It is just fantastic. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned to see what I bought when I watch tomorrow. See ya.